Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. On today's video, I'm going to show you how to save some money and butcher your own top sirloin butt. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's my entire top sirloin butt, and this is from 1855 beef. Just know that if you see the 1855 logo on any packaging, it is upper 2/3 choice or better, meaning the top level of choice or prime. That's all you're ever going to find inside the packaging from 1855. Check them out at the link below and thank them for sponsoring today's video. So I'm just going to take this out of the package. Alright, so I'm just going to grab a paper towel and dry up the surface. This is going to make it a lot easier to handle. So if you guys have never butchered or broken down your own top sirloin butt like this, it is super easy and it is a great way to save some money. Always remember that the more broken down the cut of beef is, the more money you're going to pay at the grocery store. So buying the entire roast like this and butchering it yourself, cutting your own steaks to your desired thickness, is the best way to go. Now a lot of people will just buy the entire top sirloin butt like this and cut some giant steaks out of it. Okay, they'll just come in here and cut these humongous steaks. Now, you can absolutely do that, but you do have two different cuts of meat right here. Okay, you have this top piece. Now this top piece is the picanha, okay? And the meat runs in this direction. Well, the grain on this piece right here runs in a different direction, and that's not always the best, especially when you cut them into steaks. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the picanha from this top sirloin butt right here. A lot of people call it the culotte picanha, same exact thing, okay? Now when you're removing the picanha from the top sirloin butt, you really don't need a knife to begin with, okay? Simply stick your fingers in here and start to pull it apart at the natural seam. You'll see it start to come apart, okay? Now you don't want to rip the meat apart, but right when it stops, go ahead and grab your sharp fillet knife or boning knife. You can see that. It's got this natural seam right here. So I've got my sharp fillet knife here. I'm slowly going to cut away this picanha. See that? Super simple. Now we're just going to clean up the picanha. I'm just going to remove some of this fat right here. The picanha is like a giant tri-tip, okay? Now it does have the silver skin on top of this meat. I like to stick my fillet knife right under that silver skin. Try not to remove so much meat. Just like that. There we go, just a little bit more fat right here. Now on the top of this picanha, you have this really kind of thick membrane. It's a really thick nerve. Not sure if you guys can see that on the camera, but you definitely want to take that off. Trim off just a little bit of this fat cap. Now the fat cap on the picanha tastes absolutely amazing, okay? So you don't really have to trim it. Now if you don't like a ton of fat on your picanha. Just trim it down a little bit, but I gotta tell you, this fat right here is delicious. And there you have it, beautiful looking picanha with enough fat cap on the top. Just gonna move this aside here. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove a lot of this fat, okay, from both sides. All this silver skin, just go ahead and take it all off. I don't know about you guys, but I really love trimming cuts of meat. I'm not a butcher, okay? But I enjoy this, especially briskets. You're also gonna have a little bit of connective tissue right here. Again, you just run your knife on the bottom of that and take that off. You do not want that in your meat. It's extremely tough. All right, so I've got most of the fat and silver skin removed. The next cut of meat that I'm gonna get is what they call the mouse steak, okay? And it sits right on top here with, again, another fat seam. Pretty simple. As you can see, you do have quite a bit of silver skin right here. Again, same process. Stick your knife right under that silver skin and cut in an upward direction. There you go, take it right off. Now throughout the entire process, you will get these small cuts of meat. Save that, okay? Those are great for kebabs or stew. So just put those aside. There's our little mouse steak. Now there's two more muscles that I'm gonna separate right here. If you can see this seam right here, this separates both muscles. Now this muscle right here, I'm gonna cut into steaks, also known as the baseball steak, okay? You guys have seen me cook those on my channel. So cut right along that seam and start to separate it. Again, it's a natural seam. Just be patient. You can see the natural seam, and you can almost separate it again with your fingers. There we go. Now here's our baseball steaks. You want to come in here and remove this nerve right here. That is no bueno. All right, I'm going to square this off. Again, do not throw this away. This is, again, stew meat or kebab meat. Let's square off both ends. All right, so now I'm going to get my baseball steaks, probably a good 1.5 inches. Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? Now the reason they call them baseball steaks is because they resemble a baseball, obviously, when you cut them. You can see that. So here's our baseball steaks. Let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 baseball steaks. Beautiful baseball steaks. All right, I'm going to square off our sirloin steaks right here. And I want about 1 inch thick cut sirloins right here. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice center cut sirloin steak. Decent marbling. These are gonna be delicious. So the rest of this meat, I'm just gonna cut it down into smaller cubes. I might just make some carne guisada with these steak tips right here. And there you have it, folks. Super simple way to trim an entire top sirloin butt, and you end up with some really nice cuts of meat. The picanha, our mouse steak, our sirloin steaks right here, our baseball steaks, and we also have a little bit of stew meat or kebab meat. So as I mentioned earlier, you can save a ton of money by butchering your own meat at home, especially when you can buy these roasts at a really good price, break them down into something like this, cut your steaks into your desired thickness. I mean, there is nothing better. All right, so at this point, these steaks are ready for a barbecue. Season them up, throw them on your grill, and you are ready to go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vacuum seal these and throw them in my freezer. I hope you guys enjoyed this simple way to break down a top sirloin butt. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. See ya.